So at Barnes & Noble, I'm always really intrigued by those tables that they set out that are called Blind Date with a Book. And they have all of these different books wrapped up in this like white paper that they write on. They write the genre and like a little summary about the book. And then on the back, it has the price and it has the ISBN number. I don't know what letters there are, but you can look it up and you can see what book it is before you buy it, but why would you? And that's for the employee who's checking you out to type that number in and get the right book. And I've always really wanted to do it, but I have just been scared that it's not going to be good. But I think that, like, honestly, the only real difference is that you're not like looking up reviews of the book before you buy it. And I think that most people, when they go and buy books, they just like walk into the store and they see like a genre that intrigues them and they see like a blurb or a summary that intrigues them, and that's how they purchase books. And so I wanted to try it, and so I bought one of them. I just read the blurb and it intrigued me, and so I got it, and I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna go on a blind date with a book. My dad thinks that he knows what book this is. I'll read you the summary and you can see if you agree. So it's fantasy, and it says, what if everyone around you had magic but you did not? Private investigator who investigates magical and non-magical crime, yes please. They put it as a question that said yes please. This book is honestly fantastic, and it's this author's fantasy debut. What really interests me about this book is the idea of what if everyone around you had magic but you did not? Because I feel like main characters are always the ones who have magic and everyone else doesn't, or just everybody has magic, or the main character has a special kind of magic compared to everyone else. I really like this idea. I love just a main character who's like lame and is like not special. I just find that really interesting, and so I'm really excited about this. My dad thinks that this is the book Magic for Liars. I don't know who the author is. I guess if this is Magic for Liars, we'll find out who the author is. He says that it has really good reviews. Yeah, also when I checked out at Barnes & Noble, the girl who was checking me out, it seemed like it was like her second day on the job, because she was like so nervous about getting all of the things right. She was like, did I already ask you if you have a bag? I need to like ask all these different questions to make sure I'm doing it right. She was adorable. And she told me to not look at the receipt or not to look at the little title on the card reader because it could spoil it. So that was very kind of her. I love that Barnes & Noble employee. Barnes & Noble employees are the best. Can we talk about that? They're like, they're always so chatty to me, and they love to like compliment the books that I buy. Anyway, should we open this? Okay. So far we have a blurb from V.E. Schwab. I just read one of their books, A Darker Shade of Magic. We have, could this be the author's name? Sarah Gailey. This is fun. And a very bright red cover, which I was not expecting. I don't know why I was expecting like a dark cover. And we have a little hand doing this with an eye on it, and it says Magic for Liars, a novel. So it says Magic for Liars. So my dad was right, that is what this book is, and I am so excited to read this. I'm gonna get started today, and I will keep you posted on all of the things that I think about it. So this says, Ivy Gamble was born without magic and never wanted it. Ivy Gamble has an almost sustainable career as a private investigator, an empty apartment, and a slight drinking problem. Ivy Gamble doesn't in any way think she was like Tabitha, her estranged, magically gifted twin sister. Ivy Gamble is a liar. I'm so excited. I'm gonna start this like right now. I just found a blackberry on my floor in my room. I don't know where this came from. It's like a fresh blackberry. I haven't eaten a blackberry in like weeks, and this is a fresh one. Where did it come from? Why is it on my floor? I was like away for vacation for a week. Did it get there then? Do I eat it? I found out about the blackberry. It it belonged to my father, and he was bringing my sibling eggs and fruit yesterday, but he was also carrying his own fruit, and so when he gave them the fruit, he dropped his fruit, and it spilled everywhere, and it bounced away into my room, and they didn't find it, so that's where it came from. My dog had come into my room earlier, and so I was like, did my dog bring it? But no, it was my dad, so blackberry mystery has been solved. Anyway, I have just started Magic for Liars. I'm 30 pages in, and I'm obsessed so far. This book is really good so far. So we open on this magical school. It seems like a magical boarding school, and it's like the welcome back dinner. But the like mischief maker of the school, Dylan DeCambry, is like hiding in the library from Mrs. Webb, and he thinks that he's like connected to some prophecy, and Mrs. Webb is like, I swear there's no prophecies, there's no like plots and schemes and bad things. And then she starts screaming, and so he like runs over, and I really liked this line. I feel like this kind of shows like the voice of the author. It says, he knocked over a chair or two on his way to the section where the screaming was coming from. The chairs weren't really in his way, but the moment felt so urgent that it seemed wrong to leave things undisturbed. I liked that line. And so he stumbles upon Mrs. Webb, who has discovered a woman who has been murdered. She was cut in half lengthwise. So that was the prologue. And then chapter 1, we open on a mugging. Suddenly, Ivy Gamble gets mugged, and then on the way out, the mugger like falls on her, and she's like, please just get out of here. That's chapter 1. And then chapter 2, we open like her office. This is like right after she got mugged, and in her office, she discovers that she was accidentally stabbed when the mugger fell on her. He like fell on her with his knife hand and stabbed her shoulder. But she gets a phone call from a client who, she was like late for the phone call, while she's like trying to like clean and dress her wound. He is like a shithead, and he's like, I'm not gonna pay for this, and she's like, you better pay for this, but she doesn't say that, but she thinks it. And then somebody comes into the office, and she's like, oh shit, a break-in, because she only takes appointments. She doesn't do walk-ins. So she like hangs up on Glenn, the shitty client, and she enters her office to Marion Torres, who has salt and pepper hair, just like Ivy, which I love. I love that she has salt and pepper hair. And then Torres is like, you don't look that much like your sister. And Ivy's like, well, we're not those kinds of twins. Her sister is named Tabitha again. And apparently Tabitha teaches at Osthorne Academy for Young Mages, which is the... Osthorne Academy for Young Mages is the academy where the murder happened, and where Torres is the headmaster. And so Torres shows a picture of Sylvia Capley, who was the murder victim from the prologue. This woman taught health and wellness at the school, and the magic cops don't think that it's murder, but Marion Torres is convinced that it is murder, and she is willing to pay very handsomely for Ivy to do this investigation. So I also started chapter 3, but I haven't gotten very far in it, so I'm not going to talk about it yet. Yeah, so far, I'm really enjoying it. I love the writing style. This is my pen, by the way. I really like authors that have, like, spunky voices. Yeah. So that's my thoughts so far. Hi, I just got out of oil painting class, and right before class started, I actually finished Magic for Liars, which was really exciting. And I really want to take some time and like get my thoughts in order so I can give like a thorough review. But this was a 5-star book for me, for sure. And it had like so much stuff that I really loved. And I want to read more from Sarah Gailey. I was looking up some of her other books and they look kind of scary. But I'll try scary. I'll try scary for Sarah. But yeah, I'll do a more thorough review review in the future. Okay, so it's been like a month since I finished this book. I finished it in oil painting class, so you can see that I got paint on it, and I'm finally going to talk about my final thoughts on it. This book was definitely 5 stars, 100%. I could tell probably from like the first chapter that this was going to be 5 stars. I just adored this book. I really liked the main character, Ivy. She was really fun to read. She stressed me the fuck out, but I was here for it, and she made me really care about her and about her story to the point that I cared so much that I could be frustrated by her and stressed out by her. I'm definitely interested in reading more from this author. I'm a little scared because this one was unexpectedly dark, and her other books seem to be more in the line of thrillers, so I expect them to be very dark. But this book was also funny. It had a lot of personality and a lot of charm to it, and it was just a really enjoyable read, and I'm very glad that I had this experience. I think that circling back to this being a blind date with a book, will I be picking up another blind date with a book again? I really kind of doubt it. This was great. I loved this, and I'm very glad that I have this book and that I own it, but I'm really not planning on buying many books next year, at least any books that I have not read before, because I did a full clear out of my bookshelf right before the end of the year. I literally just don't have space for books, and these books, the blind date with the books at Barnes & Noble, they're sold at full price for something that you don't know what you're getting. And so I don't really see the point in buying them. I think that it's a very similar thing to hearing a synopsis and then going and getting a book, even if you can see the cover, which is pretty much how I operate anyway. And so it was not that much of a different experience from my normal book getting. I just had to buy it when usually I could go and get it through the library and then decide if I want to buy it. So those are my thoughts. I think that it's a really cool idea. I think that if another one of the blind date with the book blurbs intrigues me as much as this one did, I might go for it again, but I just don't plan on spending much time in Barnes & Noble because I'm going to be reading a lot of books from the library this year. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you have a good day.